What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Today, we're in our Canadian tuxedo. Along with that, we're going to be trying to get this transmission to fit into here. As you probably saw in the previous video, I told you I got to play around with the transmission crossmember, do a little fabricating on that thing to make it work. And I use fabrication loosely on that because I'm just going to build a box that raises it up to meet the tail shaft. Really not that big of a deal. But that's what we're going to work on right now. We're going to do that, and then we're going to take this, put it back up underneath the car, which is a project all on its own, and then we're going to figure out the mounts. I can use the front, nope, it'd be the back. Yeah, I can use the back side of the existing tranny mounts in the car, so I just have to build another set that will match up with that. And that's going to be about where we're at on the fabrication of getting this thing put in. Not necessarily where this video is going, but that's where we're at on this. So I'm going to start fabricating and getting this thing all squared away. And hopefully by the end of this video, we have a transmission in the car. These are our tools and equipment to accomplish our box. As you can see, I've already worked on this, made it almost better. But in reality, we have our cardboard for our CAD design, our cardboard assisted designing. Anyways, build a plate that goes across, box it up, maybe box off the top, or build a spacer. We'll figure it out. Just so that way when we're bolting it in, it doesn't crush in between here and here. So that's it. It's this with this, that, and that, with a spacer in between here. Maybe this one. Regardless, super simple, super easy. Not much to it, but to do it, yeah, that works. So I didn't show you the CAD part, the cardboard assisted design drawing part, because I figure you guys can figure that out. But here's my pieces. Here's what we got going on. Now it's just traced out. Trans holder thingy, side A, side B, junk. And I made them a little bit longer because maybe I can make it fancy and bend them so they go around the front like so. Yeah, that'd be pretty neat, wouldn't it be? We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling. We'll even see if my brake can bend this. It is kind of thick, and I have a nice brake. I don't know if it's this nice though. All right, well, I'm gonna start cutting these out, and then we're gonna be fitting them, welding them, and hopefully in the next couple minutes, we have a tranny mount that will work. And I gotta drill the hole through it. But regardless, like I said, hopefully in the next couple minutes, we have a trans mount that works. That would be ideal. What's up, guys? We are well on our way into getting the transmission mounted now. The last you saw is I was making some templates for the tranny crossmember. That is done, that is welded, and that is now fit up underneath the car. What you missed is all the fun stuff. The grinding of undercoating and getting it in my hair, face, everywhere, face shield, everything. You missed out on that. That was a lot of fun. You missed out on me making the mounts that are going to go from the frame weld to the frame that are going to be the other supports for the cross member. You'll see those in a second. Actually, I can go get those right now. You missed out on that as well. And what else did you miss out on? At the moment, that's really about it. You guys are kind of caught up. What I got in my hand right now are mounts. Frame, body, hold the tranny cross member. Same with this one. Driver's side, passenger side. What we're about to do now that everything is cleaned up underneath, ground down, cleaned up, we are actually going to put the cross member up, attach it to the transmission, make sure it's tight, get it in place, and then we are going to weld these up there. Weld them up there, well, tack them into place, both sides, drop the cross member down, get our holes drilled. We got to do that as well too, real quick. But tack them up, drop the cross member down, weld them out, cross member back up, and boom, we're done with the cross member. And we can check pinion angle, and really no reason to even check it because it kind of relies on ride height and a couple of other things. I've been at this for a while. I got up at 4 in the morning to do this. We're rocking about 7 a.m. now. So a couple hours into this, and we're on the tail end of it. So let's finish it off and have a transmission mounted in this thing. Well, we have the transmission in now, and honestly, I am truly impressed by how absolute difficult task that was. I can't believe it. After what feels like hours, like a whole 40-hour work week of crawling around on my back, hurling that thing up in there, it's finally in. It's finally in. The brackets aren't 100% welded yet. They are, we'll call it heavily tacked. They're heavily tacked in. They're heavily tacked in enough to where, let me show you. Look at that. Transmission is in, bolted in, kind of sort of. Those bolts are way too long. I gotta get different bolts. But look, the jack isn't underneath it anymore. It's in. Pretty stoked. Little worried about the drive shaft. Little worried, but you know, these are problems that we will overcome at a later date. And the nice part is it's really not sticking that far out of the tranny tunnel. Maybe half an inch. I'm pretty positive we can just fold that back over. Fold it back over with a little bit of adjusting, and we will be right there. So, transmission is in 90% of the way. Still has to come back out. Why does it have to come back out? Well, even though it's bolted, the bell housing is bolted to the motor, this thing needs to go in with a little spacer. So I did not put it in with the converter because, well, it's already enough to wrestle as is. So let's not add another difficult part to it. But the transmission is in. It does have to come back out. It's got to come out anyways because I need to weld everything completely, paint it all up so it doesn't, rust, and it's all uniform black under there. between the rattle can and the undercoating, it'll all be the same color, kind of. I'm wore out. This beat the shit out of me, to just say the least. The floor is about 30 degrees colder than what it is outside, and everything sucks. And a Turbo 400 is heavy. I'm over it. But it's in. So that's another thing we can check off the list. With the transmission being in, now we can mount the tranny cooler, run the tranny lines, run the trans brake, bolt everything up, and then we can start doing some other fun stuff. More likely, we'll shift gears towards the interior. We will need to be doing brake lines here soon, and I got to get my tires mounted. I need to get these over here. Gotta get those mounted, and then I do have to get a new set of fronts, because I don't know if you remember right, but the billet specialties for the fronts I bought are not the right bolt pattern, and I didn't send them back because I think I'm just gonna buy the correct spindles for the blue car when it's that time, and then the blue car already has, you know, expensive front wheels, and I will figure out a front wheel for this thing, and I'll get the correct bolt pattern. Don't worry. So with that all being said, I'm wrapping this up. I'm tired. That beat me up. And also, I'm out of time. I gotta go do stuff. It's a little late. So I gotta run. We're out of here. Transmission's in. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I know this video probably isn't up to par with everything else, but with the transmission fighting me as much as it was, didn't really feel like videotaping that, because that was awful. But I had a terrible time. But it's done. So that's all that matters. With that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Like, share, comment, subscribe as always. I appreciate y'all watching this far, and I'll see you guys in the next one.